Hi Taurus, happy early birthday to those of you celebrating April, and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your April 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card. And we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling these astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus is going to be astrologically speaking. So, let's see what we get. Alright, so we have Mars, and Mars is actually in Gemini, your second house. So it could definitely be a focus around your finances. And we also have 7, so that's your 7th house, which for you guys is Scorpio. Nothing really going on there astrologically speaking, but you still might be focusing on relationships and partnerships. And we have Pisces. So for you guys, that's your 11th house as well, of friendships and just groups you associate with, hopes and wishes. So looks like that's where your area's focus will be, but we'll see what we get in the actual spread itself. Alright, in the main situation position, we have the 3 of Wands, which is Aries energy, and the 8 of Cups, which is Pisces energy. So interesting mixture of energies here, because the 3 of Wands is usually referred to as the waiting for your ships to come in energy, and it's definitely an energy of stillness, but usually waiting for rewards to come in for work that was already done. And then the 8 of Cups usually represents walking away to find something more fulfilling. So for some of you could just be saying that maybe a timeline, maybe something that you might have been trying to decide on since the start of Pisces season. When we actually get to that first 10 days or so of April, you might actually decide to finally give up on that and walk away. And for some of you, could just find that maybe if you have been waiting on something for a really long time, you might just be letting that go. Maybe you feel like, all right, well, I waited for long enough, whatever this is isn't coming around, I'm just going to move on to the next thing. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is actually Capricorn energy, but obviously this could represent you guys as well, since you're also an earth sign. But with this coming up in the challenger obstacle position, could just be saying that this definitely could have been tied to finances for some of you. Maybe there were some promises made to you within your workplace, for example, about a promotion or something like that. Maybe that just never came to fruition, and now you're kind of letting that go. Like, okay, well, I was told one thing, they're not actually coming around and doing it. So for some of you, could just be considering moving on to another company due to that. See if anything else comes to mind with this. Or for some of you, could just be realizing that you might have to, if you want to reach a higher level within your career, that you might have to, actually go forward and get more certifications, or possibly go back to school, In the foundation position, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which represents Jupiter energy, which is actually in your 10th house of career and social status. And we have the 8 of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy, which is your 8th house. So if this is around romantic relationships, it looks like intimacy could definitely be picking up for you guys this month. A lot more activity there. But if this is also, again, related to finances, could just be saying that you might finally see some movement there. So if it did feel like there was some kind of a blockage for a while, looks like that's going to be freeing up for you guys in a positive way. Alright, in the past position, we have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, or opposite sign. And we have the 9 of Wands, which is, again, Sagittarius energy. So, could just be saying that you might have gone through an ending in the past, and, you're just really on guard about it, maybe feeling like the timing wasn't correct. So for example, maybe if someone walked away from a connection with you, given that this is Scorpio energy and we do see the 7 there, you might have really felt like, it might have come out of the blue for you guys, or maybe you felt like, okay, well, I put in so much time, effort, and energy toward the connection, and you might have felt like in that regard it was a bit abrupt for that person to leave. And for some of you, this could even just be perhaps you might have had a fear of that happening. So there might have been no external evidence that that was what was going to happen, but you might have just had a fear that that was going to be what happened. All right. In the present position, a lot of cards came up, but we'll see if we can make sense of it. We have the Four of Cups, which is Cancer energy, or third house communication. Six of Wands, which is Leo energy, your fourth house. Aquarius energy here with the Five of Swords. Five of Cups is Scorpio energy. Ace of Swords, and then the Eight of Swords, which is Gemini energy. So, and we could be here all day if we look at this as a bunch of different storylines, but if I were to see this as a continuous thing, what it could be pointing to for some of you, with this Four of Cups here representing a disappointment, right, with communication or lack thereof, could just be saying that you might have actually completely disregarded your love lives and possibly even some friendships too. And because you were, so heavily focused on a certain goal, most likely due to career, it might have been, you might have had like a mindset of when, any means necessary. So you might have really thrown a lot of energy into it. And you might have actually achieved that success, with the Six of Wands, given that we do see that there. But then you might have come to that realization after the fact that, okay, I put so much of my time and my energy and effort into reaching that goal. But then my relationships, again, like I said, especially given we see the Three Cups there, it could have been friendships. For some, obviously, it could have been a romantic relationship because of the Death card we do see in the past. But it looks like you come to that realization that, okay, I put so much of my time, energy, and focus into that to have, the other areas of my life actually fall by the wayside. And then it looks like you're coming to that realization, but you're not really sure where to go next, So it's like you have that light bulb moment that, oh, okay, I was so singularly focused on that one thing. Now I have to repair other areas of my life, but how do I actually go about doing that, So I feel like that could be something that's on your minds now. All right, in the near future position, we have the Two of Pentacles. So to me, kind of a continuation of what we were just saying there, you could just be on the fence about, okay, do I actually try to repair these things? Do I actually just start something brand new altogether, right? For some of you, there could actually be some financial difficulty where, well, I wouldn't necessarily say difficulty, but trying to figure out a budgeting situation for those of you where, like I said, if this is around you, maybe feeling like you put in so much work and energy into a job and then they never came through at their end of the bargain as far as the promises they made. So now you're like, okay, well, if I do leave to go to another job, how am I going to balance, getting my money right so I could actually make it through until I get the first paycheck from the next job? It could be one of those things. Some of you could be considering a second source of income. That's another way I could see that playing out as well. And in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Two of Swords. So again, that same energy as far as path A or path B, trying to decide between those two. And we also have the Page of Pentacles. So, we see the Queen there, now we see the Page here. So for somebody, this could be, do you want to extend an offer to someone? So that could be what you're trying to mull over, right? Like I said, if there was someone, for example, where you were so singularly focused on your career for a bit, and now you might have reached that level that you were hoping to reach, but now, there's that damage control that needs to be done in other areas of your life. So for some of you, you could be deciding, do you even want to go that route or just kind of, write it off and move on? And for some of you, if this is around the goal that you're getting to, you might feel like it's just out of your reach too, because look at that pentacle. It's just out of his hands, it's close, but not quite there. So could just be saying, do you want to continue with the thought, right? Like, okay, yeah, I'm close to where I want to be, but do I just want to scrap it all together and go somewhere else? Because maybe you're finding like an emotional level, it's not as fulfilling as you would hoped it would have been. That could be what that's pointing to up there as well. So you might just be considering possibly a change in career path altogether. All right. In the environment position, we have the Ace of Wands. So with the ace energies, I usually point out that, it's more something in the idea stage as opposed to action actually being taken. And the main thing that makes me think of that with these decks in particular is the way we see that hand coming out of the cloud. So to me, that's like an idea coming to you. So for some of you, this could just be, like I was saying, that desire for a fresh start. So the energies at play might actually make you, they might be nudging you forward in that direction as well, but you might not be ready yet. So that could be where some of the back and forth is going. For somebody, this could also represent another person's energy, and they might want to have a fresh start as well. So something to think about there. And then, of course, we could have that tying back to what we saw there in the foundation position, where if there has been a blockage in communication or possibly in intimacy, you might actually start to see that open up this month. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is actually a Taurus energy here. And of course, I would say that for most of you, this is probably hope, where you're just hoping for balance, right? I mean, if we see here, it looks like there's not balance with the Two of Pentacles. And maybe you're just trying to figure out, again, like I was saying, maybe trying to balance, okay, how do I balance my career and also have a relationship, right? Or how do I balance my career goals and also maintain my friendships, right? So you could be trying to figure out how to best get that balance going there. You guys have had the North Node in your second house for a bit, so obviously money could have been a bit of a focus for you guys lately. And then now you have Saturn and Jupiter in your 10th house of career and social status, so naturally you might have a lot of focus in those areas in general, but you could just be trying to figure out, all right, well, how do I get to where I want to go there, but also not, have the other areas of my life fall apart in the process. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Fool. So looks like eventually you guys will take that leap of faith. Or at the very least, this could also just represent just releasing the stress around the situation. So maybe you become at peace with a situation. And then for some of you, that could be what that Three of Wands and Eight of Cups is too. Like, okay, I've been waiting for just the right moment or waiting for this level of success to come my way or the recognition. You know what? I'm just going to let that go, just go with the flow and trust that things will come my way. That could be how it's playing out for some of you. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Cups. So, pretty positive card to see here, which to me usually points to a level of contentment. So, for some of you, that does go along with that Fool energy too, which is to say that, could just be having a little bit more trust in the universe, where, like I said, maybe you were just throwing so much of your time and energy and focus into getting something off the ground that you might have kind of lost your focus a bit on other areas. And now this could just be you saying, like, you know what? I just have to trust the work that I put in is actually going to amount to something and just kind of let go of the control around the situation. All right, moving on to the Oracle card. You guys got TikTok. There's the artwork, and the number is 30. So we'll see what this says. Okay, it says timelessness, divine timing, immeasurable time. The Oracle's message: when humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order, were all happening now in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire, so release your agenda. Let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time. So, pretty positive message there. And again, that sounded almost like it was saying as well to try to release control around the situation and just trust that what's meant for you will make its way to you. And that could be what that Wheel of Fortune and the foundation position with the Eight of Wands is pointing to as well. Saying that, when you finally do kind of release, just decide to go with the flow, you might see those things come your way. The relationship message says love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, its divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give and receive it. Its clock is eternal and ticks according to the beating of your heart in perfect rhythm. Isn't that wonderful to know? Love is always right on time. So an interesting message there too, and for some of you that could be maybe what this was pointing to as well, where it wasn't so much that you guys didn't really put energy towards your relationships, but you might have felt like there wasn't really an opportunity there that aligned with what you were looking for. And it could just be saying in that regard that maybe that was a timing thing, because maybe at the time you were meant to focus on your career. So, that area of your life might have been blocked until you got to where you needed to be career wise, and now you could have love come your way. So hopefully that resonated with you. The prosperity message says your prosperity is co-created by your endeavors as they occur in human-made time and the eternal forces of your most important divine manifestation partner, spirit, in a divine, measureless time. So keep doing what you're doing. Stay positive and make a commitment to remain in high vibration thoughts and feelings. If you heed the message of this card, it will seem as if you will align with your highest calling and your highest good in no time at all, like magic. So what's all the fuss about not having enough time? The prosperous life that is yours will never pass you by. So again, pretty positive message there too. And like we said, we have the Wheel of Fortune in the foundation, so definitely a good position to see that. We see the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I think Venus is actually going to move into your sign as well in April. I think right around the time when the Sun moves into your sign also. So keep that in mind. They're both going to cross Uranus in your sign, so you might see some sudden shifts there. So hopefully that resonated. And lastly, we have Mudra card. So the Mudra you guys got for this month is the Abhaya Hrdaya Mudra. There it is there. And the keyword for it is rejuvenation. So definitely sounds like it could be helpful as you're waiting for the Sun to come into your sign late in April. Right, there's some of the information on it, so if you guys want to pause it or take a screenshot, you can. But under benefits, it says nourishes the heart and lungs, improves digestion, imparts a powerful sense of vitality and calm, can help reduce nightmares and reestablish basic sanity to a troubled mind. Use of this mudra is especially helpful during times of exhaustion, healing from debilitating illness, or regaining strength after surgery. Energetically, it allows heat to descend from the head through the chest down into the belly, thus regulating healthy function of all the internal organs. So it does sound like it could be a good energetic thing for you guys to use, especially like we said with the 12th house transits while you're waiting for those planets to move into your sign. You might be feeling a bit out of it. And also there's the notes there. So if you guys want to pause it or take a screenshot for that as well, you can. But aside from that, if this sounds like a mudra that you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put it in the name of in the description of the video, wherever, as always. Once again, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in April, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.